Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk. And my name is Dujane Blaine. I am your host, your humble host as always. And we're happy to be talking NBA playoffs. Been some exciting action going on across the league in these playoffs here. The start of these playoffs have been quite interesting. I think there are some teams that are playing better than most would have given them credit for. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the different matchups in this first round. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on who I think actually might come out on top in these matchups in this first round of the NBA playoffs. As always, we have two ways you can get at us. One of those ways is Twitter. You can hit me up at NotBlame21. Any questions, any thoughts you have, be glad to talk shop while we are live on Spreaker tonight. Was hoping to get started a little bit sooner, but you know how life goes. And you can get at me at our email address, straightshootingst@gmail.com. That's straightshootingst@gmail.com. Well, to open it up, since the Wizards are in action right now, what a night for the DMV, right? I just saw my colleague, Lake Lewis Jr. If you're not following him and you're a Redskins fan, you need to be on that, as well as all of our other colleagues at the Redskins Wire. But yes, that is at Lake Lewis. Now, he was just saying that all this action in DC, DC fans are stressed tonight, buddy. I mean, you got the Wizards, they're playing. The O's are playing tonight. You have the Nats, who are playing tonight as well. They'll be taking on the Atlanta Braves. And then you have hockey and the Washington Capitals, who are down in the series 2-1. They're on right now on NBC Sportsnet. I believe that's what it is. And it is in the second period. They are up 4-1. So a stressful night. Good thing is for most of these series, especially the playoff series, it's early. Baseball is early, but of course, you want to get wins. But man, everybody's playing tonight. So if you got a plethora of TVs or if you got a pretty good setup, man, you're in sports overload. And I kind of like that, kind of like that March Madness feel. Well, to get into it, being that the Wizards are on right now, of course, the Wizards are leading the Atlanta Hawks in the series 1-0. And right now, they are leading 45-38 with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left. And the Atlanta Hawks are at the free throw line. And to tell you, with this game here, in Washington, it looks like late, and especially in the second quarter, turnovers have been a bit of an issue, and the reason why Atlanta's hanging around a little bit. That's not taking anything away from Atlanta because they are a tough squad. They know how to battle with the Wizards. As we know, the Wizards have been very well and done very well at home. So it's very interesting to see them in this particular predicament. It would be nice to come out with a win, being up 2-0. But this is going to be an interesting game. This is going to be a battle all night long, as looks like it was Gortat with that shot, 47-38, almost a 10-point lead, 2 minutes and 28 seconds left. So Wizards are doing their thing at home. Now, some things that we definitely want to take and pay attention to with the Washington Wizards. Something that's very important is them, and we talked about this before the playoffs, and that's getting some wins on the road. That's improving on the road. I believe that the Washington Wizards will come out on top in this particular series But it's going to be important as you get into the next rounds of the playoffs. As you get further in, you're going to have to steal some games on the road, and they're going to have to improve their home or road record in the playoffs, and going to have to get that ball rolling. That's going to be very important for them, and obviously continuity and playing their style of basketball, not allowing the teams to dictate what they want to do, and the Wizards just going out and playing basketball, Wizards basketball, the way that they know how. One thing that is noted, this is a very good team. They have a lot of talent. It's just a matter of putting it all together at the right time. And I think this is something this year. They've had some different players step up and make plays for them in critical moments. And that's what it's going to take. It can't be all Bradley Beal. It can't be all John Wall. Can't be all Gortat. Has to be a complete team effort, and it's going to have to take some bench play as well. Now, looking at some of the other games, and I'm going to talk about the games that we have tonight because we're going to start rolling up on some other games that will be starting. OKC has just started as well. First quarter, 16-4 right now, and they are on TNT. And that series is quite interesting. The battle of who's going to be the NBA MVP. And I have stated it time and time again. I believe it should be Russell Westbrook. That's no slight against Harden. He's played an excellent season as well. But you just can't take away the fact that it's not easy to put together triple doubles. That's not easy. If it was, every great player would be doing it on a consistent basis. And when you look at the rate, especially down the stretch that Russell Westbrook was putting that together, man, absolutely phenomenal. But what it's going to take for them to beat the Rockets in this series is more than Russell Westbrook putting this team on his back. Has to be more offensive participation from the starters. If you look at game one, they were 34.5% in field goal percentage. That has to change. Houston was 51.7%. You got to play some defense on the other end, but you got to score. They missed a lot of baskets in that game, and that will get behind. That will cause you to get behind quick when the other team's getting easy baskets and you're struggling to get easy baskets and connect. They only scored 57 points as the starters. The bench came out, got 30 points for them. Still didn't shoot much better. As a matter of fact, the bench shot 42.3% field goals, but they have to have a better field goal percentage with the starters if you're going to hang with the Houston Rockets. And it's going to take them to have to steal one in Houston. I still think it'll be a good matchup. Unfortunately, I just don't think there's enough firepower in OKC for them to win this particular series. And I really like Houston in this one. You look at the rebounds. They had 40 rebounds in game one to 28 rebounds. Right there, that's a huge discrepancy. You can't get you got to keep that rebounding numbers pretty close. And they were destroyed in that department. And when the other team's getting more rebounds, especially on the defensive side and offensive side, they're getting second chances. And they are also capitalizing and getting able to get a lot of fast break points, which they didn't connect on a lot. But they did have 31 second chance points. 31 second chance points and 62 points in the paint. Got to have some kind of defensive presence down inside, allowing those easy shots to get off. And Harden is a tough guy to guard, slash into the lane. He had 37 points in that game. So it'll be a good game, and we'll see how it goes. Again, OKC 20-7 so far in the first quarter, 6:20 remaining in that game. In game two, Houston leads this series 1-0. Now we'll take a look at another game that will be coming on tonight, and that is the Portland Trail Blazers and the Golden State Warriors. I don't want to sound like rough on this team, but really they got a terrible draw. Terrible draw. Because maybe Portland gets one, but as long as this team continues, the Golden State Warriors continue to play the way that they have been. Again, they beat them in game 1, 121-109. And the Golden State Warrior bench 22 points, but the starters put up 99 points. They shot 50% from the field. They really, Portland, played better from 3-point line, 41.7% versus the 37.5%. And both teams played well as far as shooting from the free throw line. But the fast break points, 24 points, fast break points for Golden State. And pretty even as far as the second chance points was really in Portland's favor. But it's just a matter of experience here. They've been here, done that type mentality. Again, they don't want to peak too soon. I think we saw that when Cleveland won the championship last year. And they want to keep at a steady pace, playing well. And I just don't think with the youth of the Portland Trail Blazers that they're going to be able to beat Golden State. May still one game, but I think this one goes to Golden State easily, and they'll be on to the next round. And I actually believe that Golden State will be in the NBA Finals, representing the Western Conference. Now, a very intriguing and really lopsided series that could have gone either way is the Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers series. Now, Cleveland is up 2-0, but this easily, it very easily could be the opposite. Cleveland could easily be down 0-2 right now. Now, I know Cleveland fan is saying, no, well, they're not. You're right. The first game was a 1-point win for Cleveland. Really, to be honest with you, that was Indiana's game from start to finish. And I think it's a football term. You know, you look at the stat sheet and you're like, there's no reason why. There's no reason why that the Indiana Pacers should have lost that game. But at the wrong time, at the clutch moments in the fourth quarter, some mistakes were made. And then you have to remember that LeBron James is on the other side. And when it's that close, you can bet the King is going to deliver, whether it's in getting his guys open and involved to be able to make plays, or him making plays on his own. One thing that was a downer for them, they didn't shoot very well from the field, 45-3, and that's not bad, but when your opponent is shooting 52.3%, you need to tighten up a little bit as far as the defense goes. But they were able to really shoot well from the three that night, and shot 52% from three. Cleveland only shot 28%. But you know the old saying, right? You live by the three, you die by the three. Well, you can't always depend on the three-point shot. And again, both teams shot fairly even. It seems as if both teams really don't play a whole lot of defense, because both teams were above 50% from the field. They were above 40% from three. The difference in that game is not finishing. Simply not finishing. You look at game 2, and the starters produced 79 points. It wasn't the best performance by the starters. as far as the points go. But the bench for Indiana produced 32 points, shot 51-9 from the field, and 40% from three. The difference, though, which it always comes down to, is that little stripe that separates the paint, that little stripe there that called the free throw line. That makes the difference in every game, made the difference in this game as well, and really, to be honest with you, made the difference in game one as well. You have to take advantage of those free points. You're not always going to be perfect, but you have to be darn near it. And when you're talking about a Cleveland Cavaliers team coming off a championship season last year, I don't care how you want to look at them, and whether you want to say they backpedaled into the playoffs. They didn't play well down the stretch. Everybody knows that. But they still have the king on that squad, and Kyrie Irving. They have guys that understand what it takes to win and to get to and back to the finals. That's the ultimate goal. And if Indiana wants to have a chance, it's going to be all about free throws and finishing in the fourth quarter. And that in itself is very important. And I still think Cleveland wins this particular series. I think it'll be closer than it is right now. But you can be sure if Cleveland comes out here Thursday and wins and it's 3-0, boy, that's going to be backs against the wall. Very tough for Indiana to recover from, and I like I said, that series will be over if Indiana can't get a win in Game 3 on Thursday night. Now we'll look at the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Clippers. I felt like people completely overreacted when the Clippers lost in Game 1. It's just one game. And I get it, right? Everybody wants to see Blake Griffin play better. Not just offensively, but defensively as well. A very interesting stat is that this team, the Clippers, are 36% points in the paint. 36%. Have to do a better job in the paint, especially with a guy like Blake Griffin. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have any competition on the other side with the Jazz, but he should be dominating a lot more. And you're going to have to dominate a little bit better on the opposite end, because the Jazz are shooting 42.5 points in the paint there. And that is a lopsided stat. You have to do better. Defense is vital. And the flow with this team, you have Gordon Hayward. You have guys that can move the ball for Utah. And again, they have a coach that has been there and done that he has been to the big dance. He understands what it takes. But the big guys in the middle have to stand up for this team if they want to have any type of chance of getting to that next level and hopefully having an opportunity to at least contend in the Western Conference Finals. But defense is going to be vital. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves one and done once again. I think one of my favorite series is the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. Milwaukee, surprisingly, and I say surprisingly because I don't think too many people, especially living out here, East Coast, you don't really get the chance to see too many Bucks games. And you don't, Raptors are on TV a little bit more than Milwaukee. You don't see too many Bucks games, but those guys play not just a great offensive game. It's not anything spectacular are over the top, but they get the job done. And they also play phenomenal defense. And that showed in game one, where the Raptors struggled big time to be able to get inside. And it was a hard-fought game, close game, somewhat. And game two was closer. They only lost, Milwaukee lost by 6. They were able to get inside a little bit more and take advantage of being able to slice and dice. But that's not going to be always the case. This team has proven, if you look and go back and look at some of their games during the season, they've proven that they can shut you down and make you shoot outside. And you're going to have to be on top of your game in the jump shots because they're not allowing you to come in the paint and dominate. And the Raptors, if they want to have a chance, they're going to have to find a way to be able to make lanes so that they can get high percentage shots inside, close to the paint. I still like the Bucks, and I honestly think they can be a little bit of a sleeper and a spoiler. Didn't have the best record during the season. They are a young team, probably won't go very far, but I think they have a very good opportunity to upset the Raptors here. The style of basketball that they play. And again, when you're a young team, you really don't know. You don't know any different. And if you don't have that happy to be here mentality, and you really want to make a statement, you can sneak up on some people and surprise them a little bit. And I think they have an opportunity to steal one here. And I think that they can. I have the Milwaukee Bucks winning in that series. Could be the Raptors, but I like the Bucks. I like the way they play, and I really like their team mentality as far as how they attack on both sides of the floor, offensively and defensively. The Chicago Bulls and Celtics, what a tragic situation for Isaiah Thomas there, the loss of his sister. Very unfortunate set of circumstances and really huge. Everybody deals with tragedy differently. And of course, the emotion that he showed is not something that should be deemed unnormal. Anybody would. But it was definitely his choice to play. And I know that the topic will be if they're unable to come back and win this series and have an opportunity to win this series, it's going to be this story here. But he has played well. He really needs for his team to step up a little bit. Isaiah Thomas has put this team on his back pretty much all season long. And I will quote something that I really didn't think about, that Jackie Ray, you can catch her on the Game On podcast, and she said that the Celtics are small. And when you think about it, they really, in comparison to the Bulls, they are a small team. They look pretty small out there. They almost looks like a JV team versus like a college basketball team. I don't know. It's those guys are bigger over there in Chicago, but size shouldn't matter. Not on the basketball court. Really, the big things that I notice with the Chicago Bulls is the lack of consistency. Their bench with Boston, their bench only was able to score 22 points in game one. You need more from your bench. That's not going to help you in any case when you don't have consistent production and it's all laid on your starting crew. Now in game two, the bench played better than the starters. So have to have consistency. They had poor percentages from inside the paint, 33%. That's not going to cut it. Missing a lot of shots there Boston needs to develop a level of consistency, and I understand there's a lot of distractions right now, and rightfully so. The team is rallying around Isaiah Thomas, and they're concerned about him and his family, as they should be. This is very tough to deal with a tragedy, and when you work with people, as whether it's basketball, whether it's just in our everyday life, as regular people we work with during our time in and out of work, we spend a lot of time with these people, and they become a family like. So that atmosphere, that concern is normal, and it's hard to focus. This is playoffs are huge. It's a different set of circumstances than the season. You have that pressure along with these other outside pressures. It makes it hard to focus, and don't want to use that as an excuse, but it is what it is. It's an unfortunate and sad part of our life and existence as humans, and it really stinks and hurts anybody that has compassion when things like this happen to people. And unfortunately, hopefully at some point they can somewhat gain some kind of focus, but I think that's going to be very hard to do. And I think everyone's going to try to do their best, but it just may not work out for them. And I really believe that the Bulls will unfortunately win this series. And again, it's basketball at the end of the day. Life and our lives are way more important. And it's just, wow. Heart goes out to his family. And man, I lost my father 5 years ago, and to lose a parent is tough. To lose a sibling, I don't know if I could handle that. I don't know if I could handle that. That's terrible. Well, the Memphis Grizzlies are getting outworked on both sides, and I think they're just simply outmatched. The Spurs lead this series 2-0. And really, this team is what they are every year. Well coached by Pop. Kawhi, excellent play by him. This is a team that I think sometimes we all forget about. They're not flashy. They're kind of the Patriots of the NBA. They go about their business. Everybody buys into what's going on, what Pop is selling. And they just go out and win games. It's nothing spectacular, nothing over the top. Everybody is out for team. And they do just that. They go out and win ball games. And there's really not much to say here. The Grizzlies are simply outmatched. And I believe the Spurs will probably sweep this series. But they're going to win it. And it's unfortunate. Memphis has been in this predicament several times. But man, they just don't have enough for the San Antonio Spurs at all. And that's going to be a wrap for this show. What a great first round we have, though. There's some great teams. Looks like the third quarter has started for the Washington Wizards and the Atlanta Hawks, 53-45, 10-50 and counting in the third. So if you're going to watch that and you have NBA TV, watch it there, because it's going to be a good game. Looks like it's a good game so far. Stick with us. We got some NFL to talk about. The draft is going to be in about 8 days. So there's going to be plenty to talk about. Oh man, we went 30 minutes today. 30 minutes a day, but man, I really wanted to talk some NBA, kind of look at each matchup that we have, and give my predictions on what's going to go down and who I think is going to win those series. Like I said, NFL draft, 27th of April. We're going to start talking about team needs in each division. I'm going to take a look at the teams and their needs and what these teams need to do to get better, and what some of the lower teams on the totem pole need to do so that they can be competitive next year. So the draft is always fun, and that whole outdoor venue, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. So if you're a fan and you can get out there to Philadelphia for the draft, I think you should do it, because that's gonna be a really good fan experience. As always, if you have a topic or something you'd like to hear discussed, or you just want to talk shop with me, you can hit me up on Twitter at NotBland21. Be glad to talk shop with you guys. It's always fun talking with the fans. Really appreciate those of you who have hit me up, whether it's Facebook or Twitter. I really appreciate that. It's always a pleasure. If you have a topic you want to hear discussed on this show and you don't do Twitter, you can hit us up on our email, as we said earlier, at straightshootingst@gmail.com. I'd be happy to talk about different topics that you want to hear talked about. We've done that before with several who have emailed us, so we'll continue to do that. Check out my work at the Redskins Wire.usatoday.com, and you can also check out my work on sportsjourney.com. And check out The Wire. All of our guys over there, Gerald, Maurice, Lake Lewis, Diane, Winston. Hopefully I didn't leave any of my colleagues out. Great team we have, and we provide the best coverage of the Washington Redskins for you Redskins fans. Well, that is all for the show, and you could have been doing anything, but you were listening to us, and as always, I appreciate that. This has been Straight Shooting Sports Talk.